Hi everybody, my name is Alyssa Brown, and today I'm going to be talking about my hometown of West Texas. West is located in McLennan County, and is 20 miles north of Waco and 70 miles south of Dallas. It's actually perfectly in the middle if you're traveling between Dallas and Austin. It's a perfect little pit stop. West is a really big town with a population of 2,807 people. So literally everybody knows everybody. Like my family likes to say, we'll know if you're a foreigner, we'll know if you're not local. And if you're introducing yourself to somebody in town, the first thing they ask you is who do you belong to? Because that kind of matters in this town. West has a public and a private school system. The private school is a Catholic school. It's called St. Mary's. Their mascot's a Mustang. St. Mary's actually only runs from kindergarten through 8th grade. And then once you graduate from 8th grade, you move into the West High School. So when I was going through the West School public school system, there was actually 4 schools. There was the elementary school, which did K through 3rd grade. The intermediate school, which did 4th through 5th grade. Middle school, which was 6th through 8th, and then high school, which was 9th through 12th grade. That being said, that's not the case anymore. At the time when I was going through the school system, West had just built a high school not too long ago, so they had an extra school that they didn't want to go to waste. So they made sure that that all schools were getting used. That's not the case anymore. After the explosion, we had lost the high school, middle school, and the intermediate school at the time. So when we rebuilt, we demolished the intermediate school. We got rid of the middle school. The only thing that's still standing in the middle school is the original building from the really, really old high school, like the high school that my grandparents and my parents went through. West built in the location of the old high school a new high school / middle school. So it's one big building, but it's divided into 2. One side's middle school, one side's high school. It's really nice. I've only stepped foot in the office area, but it looks good. That being said, West is the West Trojans. I think for as long as I've known the West Trojans, like my grandparents were Trojans, at least my grandfather. My grandma actually went to Aquila. There's a lot of interesting facts about West. Some I didn't even know. West was named after the postmaster in the area at the time, the first one. His name was Thomas West. He sold his land to the railroad company and brought the railroad into West, which actually the railroad set up the depot for people to buy the tickets and stuff for the train, and it's actually still standing to this day, the KD Depot, so you can actually go and visit it. There's some cabooses out front, so you can take a picture on it. It's actually pretty neat to have that piece of history there. You can even go in and tour it. Pretty nice. Bringing the railroad into town was very important for the town. It helped it grow. I know that sounds kind of funny considering that's only 2008 people in here, 800 people in here, but it grew, it prospered. What it did, because West was really known, or the area was really known for having such good, fertile farming land, it actually brought in the Czech immigrants, which is actually what most of West is now, which is not surprising considering that West has built his reputation on kolaches, which is a Czech food. Now that being said, if you're going to come to West and you want to really make a good positive impression, to really impress the locals here, if you're ordering if you're going to Slovacek's or you're going to Czech Stop or Garrick's Bakery down in town, I was going to say the Village Bakery, which is the oldest Czech bakery in the state of Texas, but they're currently closed. There was the owner passed away without leaving a will, so we're not quite sure if that's ever going to open again. Fingers crossed. My great grandma worked in that bakery. But so if you're going to want to impress, like I was saying, if you want to impress people in this town, if you go into one of the bakeries and you order, if you want fruit-filled one, they're called kolaches, which is correct. But if you're wanting meat, they're called klobashniki for multiples, a klobashnik for just one. We won't hold it against you if you call them all kolaches. Everybody does, but you would make a very good first impression in the town if you go into a bakery and you're like, I would like a sausage and cheese klobashniki. That would make them happy. And what's crazy is that the klobashniki are actually not in the Czech Republic. Like, that's a West thing. Like, when the Czech immigrants came to America, they did that, which I thought was really, really cool. A little history for you guys. Another thing associated with this town that not many people are aware of is called the Crash at Crush. So Crush is a town that doesn't exist anymore. It was about 3 miles south of West. So as a publicity stunt, a gentleman with the last name of Crush, who founded the town, was like, I am going to get 2 steam engine trains and ram them into each other and sell tickets and get people to watch this, which, I mean, common sense says that's dangerous and you shouldn't do it, but they did. And they didn't make the distance from the watching the train far enough away for people to be safe, because when trains collide, there's obviously going to be some debris. They didn't consider that. So when the trains crashed and crushed each other, a lot of people got injured and died from that accident. So there's a plaque, if you go to West and you go to the Katy Depot, there's a plaque about the crash and crush, which was a very bad spectacle. Oh man. Another interesting fact about West is, of course, that we had an explosion. Now, if you read the papers and all that, like, there is no, it's been speculated that it was arson, bad people, the Adair's who owned the fertilizer plant didn't do a good job at maintaining it. That being said, though, it was one of those storms of unusual, unlucky events that caused it to happen. From what West has heard, it was a golf cart that caught on fire that just led to it. It can be several, like, little things. Boyce Wilson at MCC was one of the first people to deal with it after the disaster. And he said that it was seriously just the most imperfect storm. He said that, so the buildings were made of both fire and tin. And so when the fire ate away at the wood and the tin roof fell, it fell at just an angle. Instead of sliding, it fell straight down. And the pressure from the fire and the chemicals caused it to. So that's not listed, because if they had said that it was just a series of unfortunate events, people in this town wouldn't have been able to get any type of recovery funds or insurance funds to take care of the things that they had lost at the time. West actually has a museum in town, which is free to view during the weekdays. It is very nice. I was in there not just too long ago, and it talks about the Czech settlers coming and farming, and how West grew from the start with the railroad tracks and everything. So that was really nice and neat. Y'all should come and check it out. West is a really small, nice town full of people who just want to talk and be your friend and talk about polka music, beer, dancing, what their grandkids are doing. Super excited if you speak any type of Czech, because that is actually still spoken in the town. So you would just gain points if you walked up to somebody and said "Jak se máš," which means "How are you?" I hope y'all come and visit West, and y'all have a really, really great day. Bye.